Hi, I'm Panda Hershey, and I'm an astrologer who works with entrepreneurs to identify and take their next best action so they keep making progress in their business and their lives. Welcome to the July 17th Coffee and Charts call, where we talk about facing the reality of how we'll need to change how we show up. And by stepping into the heart and mind of that new person, we'll be able to make the most of the Jupiter and Mercury portals and find that hidden talent inside us. But it's going to require some trust and patience because we might not see it for 2 to 3 weeks. Listen to our conversation so you'll know what to do day by day, and I'll see you on the other side. We have a lot to cover today. The energy is really shifting right now, and especially the last week or so, you may have felt as though there were these huge awakenings to, oh my God, things are shifting for sure this year, and I had better get with the program, or someone else around me needs to get with the program to deal with what's coming this year. And from that mindset and from that viewpoint of who am I going to be next May? How is that person going to be next May? What could I learn now so that transition feels easier, so that I'm already operating from that place of knowing where I'm going to be, and it reduces the resistance. And not only that, it's going to open your mind and your heart to the tools that you're going to get right now to move through this time, because the Mercury and Jupiter portals are now open. The Jupiter portal opened on Monday. The Mercury portal opened yesterday, and these two portals together are going to help us find these hidden talents that we didn't know we had because we didn't need them until now. And thank goodness. So let's get going. I'm going to share my screen, and any questions so far? Does that resonate for people?
Yeah, definitely.
Definitely.
All right. Okay, Stacy, welcome. It's your first time. What we do is walk through how the planets move, and they move in this direction, in the counterclockwise direction. And we'll kind of tick off day by day how things are changing. And this might be a little small on your screen, but here we are today. And today is the day that Mars leaves this year's Uranus portal. Uranus is about restructuring, and the Taurus part is restructuring how you show up, how you are present. And this can be a very positive feeling. It can be a change where you got promoted and you have to show up differently, or you could have a physical thing going on for you that helps you recognize, oh my gosh, I got to take care of myself because this is something I need to pay attention to. And so it can be a whole spectrum of ways that all of us are changing the way we show up, and all of us having to adapt to the changes in ourselves and the people around us. But this cracks us open to new information. And that's exactly why having the Jupiter portal open and the Mercury portal going at the same time with it will give us the help we need. On the 21st, the sun here is moving through the Mars portal, giving us hints of the work ahead, the hard work ahead. I'm going to be very honest, starting in October, the work that we're going to have to do to turn the corner and say, I am going to put my effort into something about me, and I need to figure out what that is, to make it to the other side, to level up my life, because that is the whole point of this year, is to release structures that are no longer serving us, whether we're choosing those new structures or whether they're being forced on us, but we have to adapt. And when the sun here is opposite Pluto here, it is a time to turn the corner. If you have ever been run a marathon or been on a long hiking trip, when you get to that halfway point, like your whole mindset changes. It's like, I made it halfway. I'm going to keep going. And it's all, I'm not going to say downhill, but it's like I'm heading back and I'm going to finish this. And that is exactly where we are. And if we have that mentality and that heart opening to the new person that we're going to be, that helps us take the action to turn that corner and keep going. And we get a few days of that as the sun is moving opposite the Pluto portal. On the 23rd, the sun is exactly opposite and it's in Leo. And the beautiful thing is that it's about doing something that feels easeful for you. It might be a new thing that you didn't know you could do, but you see potential in it. And hopefully there is someone around you to acknowledge, hey, you know what? You could be good at that. Keep going. And that's going to be that movement of the sun through Leo. And that's that style of offering our talents, knowing what we bring to the table, and having someone else appreciate them and welcome them. And then on the, hang on, I'm gonna lock that. On the 24th, the sun finishes moving through. So it's just 4 days of just like turning the corner on this year's work. Then get a few days to, Chiron stations retrograde at 23.5 degrees of Aries. And this energy is, Chiron is about doing things and not having the outcome that you quite expected. And this can be like a wonderful surprise, like going to a restaurant thinking you're not gonna like anything there. And then surprise, you order a dish and it's like, oh my gosh, I might actually come here again. It can also be those surprises where I think it's going to go great and it turns out nothing like what you think. And this energy of Chiron has been about bringing something to people's attention. And either the people you didn't expect heard you and are like, oh my gosh, that's kind of interesting. Tell me more. The people who you thought should have heard it maybe said, yeah, that's great. You think that, I don't have time for that. And maybe it has been about learning the way you present the message. But this energy will stop moving forward and will start to move back for several months and open you up to trying again and possibly giving you this opportunity to adapt your message, find the right audience, find a new way to present what it is that you care about that people need to know. Here's a key turning point over the next 3 weeks. On the 28th, the sun leaves the Mars portal. So it's like, this is the point at which we've done all the prep work for the the Mars portal that's coming in October. We've had about a month and a half of Mercury coming through, Venus coming through, then the sun coming through, of getting these intuitive hits, I'll say, of, oh my gosh, that's something I'm going to need to deal with later, and getting a little validation. And then this is our chance right now to be doing something about it. And honestly, I think So much of the doing is simply acknowledging things are changing, adapting that mindset of our future self that's going to be able to handle it, that survived it, that made it through, that made the changes, and saying, okay, I'm going to operate like that now, and doing all those steps as much as you can to be that person. The cool thing is that the Mercury portal, it has been open all this time, and Mercury is still moving forward, but barely. And Venus enters the portal. And Venus is about validation. Venus is about receiving. Venus is about being appreciated and enjoying what you're doing or what you're thinking. And this is the point at which you may start to wake up to that talent that you're good at, that the Mercury portal is here to show you that you can do. It's easier than you thought. You're maybe learning something new or having to do the same things, but with a different eye to it. And you recognize finally, right? It takes the portal open on the 16th. This is like 2 weeks later almost. It's 2 weeks before you go, oh, okay, I might be able to get with this. And then a few more days to settle in with that. And Mercury stations retrograde on the 4th. So almost 3 weeks from here now. And the point at which Mercury enters Virgo, you'll be recognizing, oh, maybe I am good at something. And I can even make it a little better. I can work on it a little bit. I'm even willing to like put some effort into it. And I forget what day that was. We'll go back and I'll point that out. But this is when Mercury stations retrograde. You'll start to hear about it in the newspapers like the day before, but you'll have already been paying attention. And as Mercury starts to move back, this is your chance to, one, take that validation that you've been getting and also start to experiment with it. And then on the 6th, I think this is the real turning point. Mars has moved into the Jupiter portal. And if Mars is about putting our heart into something, and it's into the details of Gemini, into the processing, into the communication, it is the recognition at this point of, I get it. I see the potential. Now I know what I'm supposed to do. And so again, I'm just going to say these portals just open and this is almost 3 weeks away. It's like we don't wake up to the importance of it until 3 weeks later. And if you don't know it now, then you'll have missed the opportunity to watch and pay attention. And finally, on the 7th, Mercury is moving backwards, Venus is moving forwards, and they cross over each other at 3.5 degrees of Virgo. So that may be a great day to get the validation that you are doing it right, that you are on track, that you've got this, and keep going. So I know that feeling feels like so far away for me. Like I can't imagine being there. And yet I know that I have to keep taking steps, that if I do nothing, I will never find out what is easy for me at this point in my life. So hopefully this is encouragement for all of you guys to trust that there is some talent inside you that's going to reveal itself, something you enjoy, something you'll enjoy so much, you'll want to put some effort into it. Any questions while I move backward and we just watch that again without my talking? Is that like, does everyone else feel like that's really far away?
Yes. I totally agree with everything you're saying because I listen to you on these calls and I'm like, man, I don't see it. I'm watching it in front of me. It's like you're doing a magic trick. It's like that magic trick, and I have no idea what it is. But I'm trying to trust. Put it that way.
Okay, one more. Okay, so some cool things to watch is Venus here and Mercury. Venus will keep moving forward. Mercury will slow down as it gets up to like the 4 degrees of Virgo and then start moving back. So we'll see that. Um, and what else will we see? That's probably the coolest thing to watch. So I will start ticking through. Okay, here we go. Okay. All right. It's a long 3 weeks. The energy is definitely shifting from where it's been. It was such a slog for a while, and now things will start to kind of pick up. And so, what I see is kind of the theme for the next 3 weeks is that it is time to show up like the future you. Um, and if you keep your heart and your mind open to what that person needs to learn and needs to know, then you may be able to pick out the things and the signs that you're doing something new, maybe looking at something you've always done, but with a different eye, and finding the easiest thing for you. What are the new habits or routines that would smooth the path ahead? This is an opportunity to have the energy behind you to actually try them, let's say for 6 weeks. Um, And this is the key to making the most out of these Jupiter and Mercury portals that are going on right now, is having that open mind and open heart. And as I showed you, it may feel like nothing's happening for at least a couple weeks. And yet, just trusting and saying, I'm going to make the effort. I'm going to make the effort. I'm going to do something to be like the future me and try. So, I am just going to encourage you to hang in there. And I'm going to say that even until Mercury stations retrograde, it may not be so apparent. But as Venus goes through and as Mars hits the Jupiter and Gemini portal, it'll click. And I can't wait to check in with all of you to see how that happens for you. But that validation is coming. And somewhere in there is a hidden talent. All right. So I'm just going to run through some of these. Mars is finishing up its time in this year's Uranus portal for the last week. This is about the change and facing it. And now that you're ready for that, you're ready to turn the corner and say, okay, if I have that hat on, I can do it and start making my way to a new life structure that takes into account how things are changing this year for me. On the 25th is when Mercury goes into Virgo. And remember, here's this Mercury portal here, this blue line. So Mercury moves over this line here into Virgo. And it's when you'll start to think about, oh, how do I make this better? Make it beautiful, whatever I'm good at. From right now until the 28th, the sun is moving through this Mars portal here in Cancer and Leo. And from the 22nd to the 28th is the Leo portion. So it's almost like, okay, I'm going to be doing what I think I'm good at. And not only that, later this fall, like November, December, I'm going to be putting my heart into it and saying, yes, I bring something to the table and I'm going to work on it. I think that's what we'll need to make it through, frankly. Venus moves through that Mercury portal here. Here's Venus moving through this portal from the 28th until August 8th. Getting that validation that you are good at something. So look for that encouragement. And that also means surrounding yourself with people who appreciate who you are. And on the 4th, Mercury stations retrograde at 4 degrees Virgo. It should be the point at which you say, oh, now I get it. I get to go back. And now that I actually know I'm good at it, I can put a little more effort into it. And there will be some time to experiment with that a little bit later. But just even knowing, if I had known I was good at this, I would have done more. Like that mindset will hit you around that time. And beautifully, that's when Venus moves into Virgo to say, okay, yeah, I'm going to keep going and make this really beautiful. And others are going to see that too. And on the 6th, when Mars here moves into this Jupiter portal, you'll see the potential. Ideas will start to kick in that mean something, that have staying power, growing power, and we'll be able to get into that. I know it feels so far away. And then on the 7th is the day that Mercury is moving backward, Venus is moving forward, and they cross over each other. And it'll be this encouragement to keep going. So your tips to thrive. Number 1, operating from the mindset of the restructured you that will be there next May. What does that new person do or think? Put that hat on and as best you can, start behaving like that person. The simultaneous Jupiter and Mercury portals right now are expanding your awareness. That's the Jupiter part. And the Mercury part is showing you what you're good at that you didn't know. And when it moves into Virgo, it will be about making it beautiful. And if you can't see it until August 4th, no worries. Half the people, most of the people out there aren't even looking for it right now. So you just know that there is some talent inside you that's going to come out. And the validation as Venus comes through the portal will start beginning on the 28th. So be sure to hang out with people who appreciate you. They're the ones who are going to give you that smile when you need it. And when you tell them, I think I'm having fun or I think I'm doing okay, they're going to say, you know what? I can see that. And so that's the key. One last thing here. As you can tell, I am sure Mercury retrogrades are not here to mess up our lives. They are actually here to help you test your ideas so you can come through the entire 8 weeks knowing something. And this time, it's about knowing what you're good at and what you can make your own by making it beautiful. And the secret, and you've gotten a part of it today, is knowing how to use them properly, right? If I told you this today and nothing happened for the next 2 weeks, because it really won't feel like it, you'd say, Panda does not know what she's talking about. But I'm telling you now to just hang in there and it will come. And so I am going to be having a masterclass about harnessing this whole portal to hone this hidden talent that you don't know about right now. And it's going to be on the 31st. I'm going to offer it at 2 times, 8 in the morning and also noon. And there will be a link in the YouTube channel, and I'll be sending it out to my mailing list. But $11 early bird pricing, and then 19 after the 25th. So I hope you all will join me. And if you are listening to this and you are part of Compass, this is already included. So, questions, because I'm not going to see you again until Mercury goes retrograde. But let me ask you, can you hang in there for 2 to 3 weeks?
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah, what about the energy today? I woke up and there was like a black cloud, weird, just weird. And there's been so many disconnects. I would say 15 disconnects already this morning.
It's the shift, right? We've been dealing with a slog for a while. And that Mars of, I'm going to say reality setting in of, oh my God, like the work is here. I got to do it, whether I want to or not. I can't run and hide as much as I would like to. It's like, okay, okay, okay. I think once Mars moves completely through the portal, it will help. And I don't know, for those of you that listened or were on the last call, I talked about how I used to run track in high school and I sucked. And the point at which people are running away from me, literally, because I'm so slow and I'm watching them go, is some of the most painful energy. But at the point at which they kind of clear your visual field and then you're just kind of running at your pace, feels better. And we're like kind of at that transition point of like the field is getting cleared. My field of vision doesn't see all these people running away from me. And I can just like, all right, just doing my thing the best I can. And we'll get into that energy and it'll be easier. And the portal is open. So we just have an open heart. Surround yourself with people who love you. And that will be the key. We don't make it through alone.
So like today with this, I mean, it's not just work. It's, I mean, every single thing has been, the answer's been different than what you thought. I was sure that you were on a 12. You're on
That's the Chiron thing.
just
Yeah.
over and over. But I mean, what do you suggest for today? Because it's like, I don't feel like my energy is good enough, like to record things, but maybe finishing stuff.
Yeah.
Finishing
Pick
stuff,
two things. Pick 2 things. Do them. Get outside. Move your body. Mars and Taurus is like, I gotta move my body. Like, I'm going dancing tonight at a little Grateful Dead night locally. So,
Oh, yeah?
yeah,
Cool.
yeah. So
Okay.
move your body.
Brian
It
Dan.
always helps. Clears the head.
We're going to listen to Uno Fogey tonight. There used to be Dos Fogies, but now there's only one, and he's really good.
Awesome.
Crazy Pink Floyd out of an 80-year-old.
Awesome. Stacy, how about you? What are you gonna
Yeah.
do?
Today, well, I'm resonating with what you're saying. It's funny because I've been inspired from so many different angles to create again, to paint again. I know, and it's just like just nagging me to do it, and I feel like it's coming to pass. So thank you for this inspiration. I also, the analogy you gave about running, I had that thought too. Like, let me not focus on the people that have passed me up. And it's so funny you said that, but yeah, it rings so true.
It hurts. It
It does
hurts.
hurt. It does. Oh, I
And
try
yeah,
not to show it, but it does.
yes, yes, it's embarrassing, and
Yeah,
I did live through it.
good. I'm so glad. Oh my goodness. Thank you
All
so much
right.
for that.
Well, I can't wait. Remember, give yourself like 3 weeks to like find your groove. But absolutely, like just even a little thing today, every day. Just do it. Can't wait.
Love it.
And men, How are you feeling?
I think I'll get that.
Excellent. Okay. All right, you guys. So because we have a 3-week gap, it's part of the reason why I put the masterclass on the 31st in 2 weeks from now, where it just kind of felt like it slotted in so beautifully. And that'll be fun. I'm gonna provide dates so that we know what to do when, and kind of you'll get the flow of the whole portal. And there are things that happen in our second chance of once we've recognized what we're good at. It's like, oh, now I know why I need to be good at this for later stuff. But it's all beautiful, and we're gonna make it through together. And I'm here. So, guys, have a great day. I know I took half an hour, and that to me is a win.
Thank
All
you.
right. See you guys later.
Thank you, Panda. Have a good day.
Thank you.
I hope you feel prepared to move easefully through these next 3 weeks. You're about to discover some talents that you didn't know you had, but you'll have to be patient in order to get to see them. I know you can do it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.